You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. You land on a website, you're excited to dig in, and bam, your whole screen gets taken over by some offer. It's got to be one of the most argued about tools in marketing. So today, we're going to get to the bottom of it. So what's the deal? Are these things a genuinely helpful shortcut to a great deal, or are they just a seriously annoying roadblock getting in your way? That is the big question we are going to unpack right now. Okay, so before we can even talk about the right way to use them, we've got to be on the same page. What even is an interstitial anyway? Let's lock in that definition. Think of it like a brief, full-screen announcement. It covers up the page for just a moment to give you a single, focused message, maybe a discount code or a newsletter sign-up. Now, the key word here, and this is super important, is temporarily. Its whole job is to show up, do its thing, and then get out of your way. And this is a really important distinction. Not every box that pops up on your screen is the same thing. An interstitial, that's the big one, the full screen takeover for major offers. A modal is that smaller guy you see in the middle of the screen for, logins. And a popover is even smaller, just a tiny hint. For today, we are focused on the big kahuna, the full screen interstitial. All right, let's get into the scary stuff, right? The two biggest fears everyone has about these pop-ups are, 1, annoying your visitors so much they just leave, and 2, getting in trouble with Google. So let's look at the rules of the road. This quote right here absolutely hits the nail on the head. Intrusive isn't really about the pop-up itself, it's about the experience. Think about it. Did it stop you from doing what you wanted to do? And was it a pain in the neck to close? If the answer to both of those is no, you're probably on the right track. And this chart lays out the difference perfectly, especially for your SEO. Here's the #1 takeaway. Do not slap a full-screen pop-up on someone the instant they land from a Google search. Just don't do it. You have to give them a second to breathe. Let them scroll a bit or click to a second page. And please, make that X button big, obvious, and easy to tap. So these are basically the cardinal sins of pop-ups, the big red flags that make people instantly frustrated. Showing up immediately, hiding that close button, being totally irrelevant, or popping up again and again. This is your how not to be annoying checklist. If you just avoid these things, you're already halfway there. All right, so we know what not to do. Now for the fun part, how to actually do it right. Let's get into the strategy. Think of this as your playbook for making pop-ups that actually work and, dare I say, are even helpful. First play in the book, the classic welcome offer. Super common, right? It's for those first-time visitors, giving them a little something special. But the secret sauce here, it is all about the timing. And this is the key. You don't just jump on them the second they walk in the door. You wait. You let them look around a bit. Maybe they click to another page, or they just hang out for, say, 15 seconds. It's about showing respect for their visit before you introduce yourself. Okay, play #2, the lead magnet. This one is perfect for something like a blog post or a deep dive article, a place where you can offer something really valuable, like a free PDF guide or a checklist related to what they're reading. Now, the trigger for this one is super smart. It's based on engagement. You wait until someone has scrolled most of the way down the page. Why? Well, it proves they're actually invested in the content. So when your offer for more info pops up, it feels less like an interruption and more like a helpful next step. And for our third play, this one is a real game saver. It's called the exit intent save. This is your last-ditch effort, your Hail Mary pass to grab someone's attention right before they're about to leave your site. So how does it work? On a desktop, it actually senses when your mouse cursor moves up toward the top of the browser, heading for that close button. And at that exact moment, it triggers a last-minute offer. Something like, wait, get free shipping. It's a genius way to save a sale you were about to lose. So you do all this work. Is it actually worth it? Absolutely. A really well-implemented interstitial can convert between 5 and 10% of the people who see it. I mean, think about that. For every 100 visitors, that's 5 to 10 new leads or sales that you would have completely missed otherwise. That's huge. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We know what these things are, we know the rules, and we have our playbook. So now let's boil all of that down into a simple 5-minute checklist you can use to get started. Here it is, your recipe for success. 1. Start with a mobile-first design with a big, obvious close button. 2. Write a headline that screams value. Make the offer crystal clear. 3. Use smart triggers and limit it to once per session. 4. Don't annoy your existing fans. Exclude people who already signed up. 5. Actually test it on a small phone to make sure it's not a mess. And 6. Always be testing. Tweak one thing at a time and see if you can make it even better. So at the end of the day, it all comes back to that very first question, doesn't it? When you look at your own site or the next one you build, you have to ask, is this thing I'm making a helpful guide that adds value at the perfect moment? Or is it just another noisy roadblock? The answer is entirely up to you.